Hello, Year 9. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the GCSE English Language and English Literature courses. And although it's not an option subject at GCSE, I'm going to tell you a little about where English can take you, what you're going to be studying over the next 2 years, and why it is such an important subject. So why study English? Well, the skills you learn are going to benefit you in all of your other subject areas. It's going to help you communicate effectively, both verbally and through your written work. It's going to help you construct an argument, argue a viewpoint, to describe, to persuade, to analyse. Skills which are really important in every subject, from science to geography to history to drama. You're going to be able to analyse a whole host of things, fiction, non-fiction, and those analytical skills are things that you can apply not only across your other subjects, but also in lots of other areas of life. And also, hopefully, you'll develop a love for literature and a love for reading and for the English language. So where can English take you? Well, journalism is an obvious one, but also law, business, your ability to construct an argument, to communicate effectively and comprehensively in a whole host of different ways. Teaching is another one, but that doesn't have to be teaching in the UK. The ability to speak English and to communicate in English is a skill that's valued the world over. And so the opportunities to go and teach English abroad are huge. Advertising, marketing, publishing and public relations, all things where the ability to communicate or to persuade or to argue are really, really key. Editors of newspapers, of television programs, of films, and writers of all of those, not only writing of books, but of scripts, is another area that the skills of English are really, really used. So, and this is to name just a few, there are a huge number of careers where English is a key skill. So developing your English skills throughout your GCSEs really does open up an awful lot of pathways for you as you progress through the rest of your educational life and beyond. So how are you going to be assessed? For English language, you have two exams, both an hour and 45 minutes each. And each exam has got a reading section, which focuses on your analytical skills, and has got a writing section. And then you also have a spoken language assessment, which we do in the school. There isn't an exam for that one. For English literature, you have two exams, one of which is an hour and 45 minutes, and the other is 2.25 hours. Now, I know that sounds like a long time, but believe me, it goes by very, very quickly. So what is in each of these exams and each of these sections? So for English literature, you have the two papers, as you know. Paper 1 is called Explorations in Creative Reading and Writing. And in that, you're going to analyse one literature fiction text. Okay? You'll get a series of questions on that text that you'll have to analyse how the text has been constructed, the language that's been used, and how the writer has achieved their effect. In section B, you have one descriptive or narrative writing task. So that's an extended writing task. There's 80 marks for the paper and it's worth 50% of your overall GCSE English language grade. For paper 2, it's called Writers' Viewpoints and Perspectives, and in this you're going to analyse one non-fiction and one literary non-fiction text. Now you'll learn a little bit more about what that means next year, but this is a comparison. You're looking at a couple of texts and seeing how they achieve their purposes differently. And then your writing task on this is to present a viewpoint. Again, it's 80 marks and it is the other 50% of your GCSE grade. For English literature, in paper 1, you study a Shakespeare text. So that might be, for example, Macbeth. You study a 19th century novel. So it's one you may have already studied, it's Jekyll and Hyde. And that's worth 64 marks, and that's 40% of your overall grade. And you'll have one essay question on each of those texts. You then have paper 2, in which you study a modern prose or drama text. So we have studied in the past an inspector course. You have an anthology of poetry that you study a selection of poems, and you'll have to write an essay about a couple of those. And then you have an unseen poetry question, where exactly as it sounds, you'll be given a poem that you have probably never seen before, and you have to write a short essay about that poem. That paper is worth 96 marks in total, and it's the remaining 60% of your overall grade. It sounds like a lot, but there is plenty of time in the course to cover everything. If you want a little bit more information about the courses, then you can click on either of these links and it'll take you to the AQA website where you can read a little bit more about the course and download the specification to find out in a bit more detail what each of those sections involve. And also, if you've got any more questions that you'd like to know about English, then feel free to email me and I will answer them for you. So that's it. That's English at GCSE. And we'll look forward to seeing you next year.